Welcome back, ye fellow knights, ye fellow watchers on the web, for the writing is bad and full of errors. And now our watch begins, because we just watched Halo Episode 5. Oh, gosh.
Oh, you know they went all out in this one. They're like, oh, guys, we're going to have a big battle this time.
So, there's kind of like a principle in storytelling, right? That when you want moments to count, you need to justify them. And so this is why, if you want a good payoff, you need to set up the certain rules for it to make sense and stuff. And if you have payoffs that are not justified or feel earned, you get nothing from it at all. Even if there was a lot of effort put into it, even if there was spectacle put behind it. So that's the first issue about having right payoffs. Then it can go even further. That if the thing that they're trying to justify the payoff was stupid, contradictory, and didn't make sense, the result can be, instead of having a good payoff and enjoying the spectacle, you just get annoyed and you're wondering, what the hell? Well, that is Halo Episode 5.
Well, actually, I disagree. I think that's been the entire series so far.
So, what were your thoughts, fellas?
So, look, there were more things in this that, this actually had one or two okay things, but still, the rest of it...
It's all wrapped up in crap.
It's all wrapped up in crap. Again, it's like there's a few bits of candy in my turd. You know? So I'm not gonna enjoy picking them out and eating them.
I would agree. There was 2 lines I actually got enjoyment out of.
Really? Which ones? So
the first line was that gun grease has gone and seeped into your brain or something and made you stupid or something. I was like, yeah, finally someone reacted honestly.
I think that guy's aware he's in this crappy show.
And the other line was, look, actually this one probably isn't good because it belittles Master Chief, but it was snarky and it actually wasn't terribly written. It was when what he says, Cortana, be quiet or something, I can't hear myself think. And then she says, well, from my perspective or something, there's not much there. You're not missing out on much or something like that.
Yeah.
And
she wouldn't belittle Master Chief. She's snarky, but
that was basically saying Master Chief is an idiot. You're a moron.
Basically, yeah. And she wouldn't do that. The worst she's ever done, I can't even.
So,
she hasn't...
We're going to be giving specific examples of what I mentioned before about certain payoffs wrapped up in such sheer amounts of stupidity that it just makes you go, what the hell? And that's not to discount the just blatantly stupid moments that consistently in this series, there's a big one in this episode which just makes you what the hell?
Yeah.
Like I said, so specific examples. Before I get there, Nathan, your thoughts?
The opening was very slow, and the flashbacks, I don't like how vague or how mystic they try to be. I lose interest in that. Lots of talking again. Look, we've got some action in this one finally.
Yeah.
But it was broken up by more bad plots and characters screaming mole.
They're trying to do it because, like I said, this is not Halo and this is not Master Chief. So this is a hate fic, and it is depicting Master Cheeks, as we like to call him. And so the show, and it really is exemplified in this episode, is Master Cheeks' identity crisis.
Yeah.
That it's all about his identity crisis, finding out he was betrayed and kidnapped when he was young. When the original Halo property, the Spartans knew that happened to them, but they were convinced that it was for a greater good.
Yeah.
And even if I don't, try the ends do not justify the means, but the Spartans seem to have understood the fate of humanity is at stake, and we're here to fight. We're going to be this, special fighting
Changes
force.
the messaging too, because in the original it's you're going to fight for honor and for our people. Or in this one it's those people we're fighting for, they're pretty bad too because they're lying to us, and it's everyone's against each other. There's no sides.
Humanity is depicted awful in this show.
You want the Covenant to win.
There's slavery. Nearly everyone is just an awful person, and then some of the primary main characters are just entitled jerks. Halsey is full blown evil, right? They're showing her trying to hide all these terrible things that she's done, and they literally have humans murdering people, killing slaves, all this stuff. So I don't care about humans wanting to win here at all.
You said hate fiction before.
Yeah.
There was a commenter who has an even better one. So you know how there's fan fiction, right? Fan, faux fiction, FOE. Because it's written by our foes. Faux fiction. Or you can do the French faux as in...
Someone else? It's not Halo, it's Phalo.
Nice.
Phalo. That was another commenter who shared it. So I don't mind that one. Phalo.
Yeah. There was I'm going to show this, by the way. Someone, Bollywood, how they have the musical stuff? Mm-hmm. Some Indians in Bollywood did a Halo music video where the guy's Master Chief is Indian and so he's singing, I am Master Chief, and it's like a full music video and it's gold. And it's more Halo than this crap. Oh, man.
So...
Should we skip through?
Well, I want to talk about some specific parts. And I guess so... we see Kwan and the discount Dave Chappelle Master Chief, who I forget the name of.
Soren. So
these are some of the bigger standout moments for me in this episode of, wow, this is stupid and it's not working and everything. So the motorbike they have breaks down, so Soren needs to go off and find another thing, and he locks her to the bike so she can't escape because... Basically, she's his slave now. And honestly, this part I was actually half happy with. I was like, rightfully so. She lied to you, she promised you all this money, and she got your ship destroyed, and he actually points that out.
Yeah, but again, that's a logical thing that would common sense
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course, right? So, but Kwan is so entitled and up herself, and she was already trying to, you can't get it started and all that stuff, but then finally sticks it to her, and she doesn't get away. Her reaction is... comical in the sense of what it reflects, maybe about the writers, because her reaction is totally in line with an insanely entitled brat.
Petulant child. She is locked into the thing, and her idea to try and get free is to bash it with a rock and then scream. We're not kidding. Literally sit there, just, there's a... That's it. And the guy was working on the bike with tools.
Yeah.
Why, pick a tool and, do something.
But what amazes me about this scene, she's there screaming and everything, and that works. Then she just keeps bashing with a rock, and then it breaks the metal with a rock. Breaks metal, and she got free through screaming and just trying again. And I really felt like... they were reflecting certain tactics that people use. If something doesn't go your way, you just scream about it until you get what you want.
It would have been more interesting if she threw a milkshake on it and it worked. Remember that old thing they used to do?
What?
Milkshaking?
Yeah. But they would put other crap in it.
Yeah, they put cement mix and lime in it. Bloody psychos.
Yeah. And it was just so dumb. It's what? All right, whatever. I'm so uninvested in this show. It's just the astounding stupidity isn't surprising me anymore. But that was a howler. I was like, okay, sure, whatever.
This is written by idiots.
And just to complete the Kwan arc, because this happens towards they cut to other things and they come back to it. She decides, for some reason, right? She has a taser that's powerful enough to knock out a Spartan. Okay. And when Soren locked her up, he just, the only conclusion is that she either had it on her or it was on the bike. Mm-hmm. And he didn't take it off of her.
Also, a taser that can knock out a Spartan would be lethal to a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Kwan, she buries herself in the dirt. And
how did she do that?
Wouldn't she suffocate? Did she have a straw or something to get air?
And think about the logistics of burying yourself.
Burying yourself. And it was so smooth that Soren didn't even see.
Yeah.
All right? And
how would you do that?
How would you, she would have to hear the vibrations and know that it's him. How did she even know it was him? What if it was some random,
The sand would literally cover
bandit gang or something that. It's this random guy walking past and she bursts in, what the hell? It's oh, you're not him, don't worry, I'm just going to bury myself again. It's just dumb on many levels. And then anyway, so she just happens to psychically know that it's Soren who he comes by. And
gets out of the ground, Soren doesn't hear someone literally pushing himself out of dirt or crap and everything falling off her, and she gets behind him and tases him to death. Or not to death, but knocks him out. And that was the arc of Kwan in this episode, which cut all of it. Like, we don't care about Kwan. It's...
And she got the gun, though, as well, and she was going to shoot him.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah, that was how it ended.
Yeah, and also, right, she knocked him out, now he's laying on the ground. So, if she doesn't leave, like, either she's going to leave him there, or she's not, right? And if she's not going to leave him there, then how's she going to move him?
Like, what is her plan? She obviously, she's not going to kill him, and so she's going to get him along so she will help him, right? Then what? Like, he'll break free and just kill her. Like, that's what at this point, she's gone. Like, Soren has no reason to either help her... Like,
also, he's the only one that kept her alive so far.
Exactly.
This is just the worst thing. This is the worst written show I've ever seen. Every episode is terribly written. It makes no sense.
Like, astoundingly bad with its logical consistently. And so, even though there was slight moments, like, where there was literally only 2 lines I could give credit, it's like, hey, that's alright, half decent. And then there were slight moments in the action where it seems to have been well done. But the thing is, though, you can do so much more with an action scene to make it more emotionally impactful with music. I
just saw.
Yeah, like what we just saw, where this was just generic action crap, but there was founded on so much stupidity for what caused it, and their climax moments of what's supposed to be impressive, one is just so astoundingly dumb, and that's, I'm going to highlight this next one, but I'll try and go chronological order, just robs any enjoyment out of it, because it's so stupid. So, anyway, cut back to, like, Master Cheeks, and he's having an identity crisis, because he realizes that Halsey was there when his parents were there, so his parents didn't die, and he was taken off. And he talks to, and it's drama. It's an identity crisis drama in what's supposed to be a Halo show, but it's not. It's a Phalo.
A military, yeah.
But that's what it is. It's like they're doubling down on this identity crisis narrative, which is boring and distracting, so much so to the point when we're watching this and thinking, it's like there's no invasion at all.
Yeah.
We're 5 episodes in since any action has happened, and what are the Covenant doing? Are they attacking any planets? Is there any urgency? Is there any war going on? Any engagements at all? It's like nothing is happening. So you don't get an urgent feeling like something is desperate, they're in a war, or anything like that.
Even in Contact Harvest, which is a book which is about where they first encountered Covenant, the very moment they're like, oh crap, there's aliens, and they see their technology, there is a sense of urgency, and they're very, like in their first meetings, everyone's on edge, everyone's freaking out, like, okay, what do we do, guys? Like, and in this, it's just like, oh no, War of Covenant, what are you talking about? We gotta give Fincher the planet, and like, what? Oh, fuel prices are good. That was the second episode.
No. All I can remember is just Chief going for a walk and looking at a dog and just going, oh, I have feelings for dogs now.
This show was written by furries.
And so he talks to his captain, but the captain's in on it, and then so he wants to find out about his past. There's a small interjection moment of he talks to the girl Spartan because he sees her with the red in her hair, and he instantly knows that she's got the emotional palette out.
And Cortana's like, I like that, it looks good on her. No, it doesn't.
So there was something that I actually called, I preempted this arc, and I was wondering if I'd go that way because there is an underlining narrative of what they've done here, which is very against, I don't think they're aware of what they're kind of saying with this, right? Is that when she took out the emotional part, Master Chief basically says, you're grounded, you can't be relied upon. Very hypocritical from him because she knows he took it out. And they even addressed it in the show.
Yeah,
well, you took it out and he doesn't care, so it makes him look like a hypocritical jerk, right?
Which isn't good writing even though they want it to be.
And so she's grounded, but they eventually get attacked. I'm going to talk about the thing that causes the attack, because that's also really dumb. But they get attacked, right? And so she has to fight, because they need everyone to help out, so the grounding obviously is ignored. And in the fight, she ends up having an emotional breakdown and she freezes, because she can't handle the emotions. Master Chief, who also has the emotional chip taken out, doesn't freeze. And what's the difference between him and the other Spartan?
The female one.
Yeah, well,
She's shut down.
One's a man and one's a woman. And the man who has his emotions handles it fine, and the woman who had her emotions back freezes up and can't handle them. What are they trying to say about women with this? Like, the reality is, though, they actually have done tests that women in actual combat military situations, like I said, they've actually recorded this. There were cases where, one case I read where there were female military drivers that had to drive through hot warfare, and they were freezing up and freaking out and having these emotional breakdowns where most of the men in the same situations weren't. There are cases of many female military combatants that handle it fine, but in the recorded cases, it's been confirmed that women do have emotional issues in actual warfare more than men.
As far as I'm aware, there are no frontline female soldiers that are actively combat-focused soldiers.
I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but maybe someone in the our viewers know, and you can share in the comments below. But so I actually don't have an issue with this because it reflects a small portion of reality. I'm just surprised that people who are so progressive who made this show are completely if they were aware of it, they wouldn't have done that.
Well, the last thing a progressive is consistent about their beliefs.
Exactly. But the thing is, though, if you actually highlight this to people who are progressive, they'll have a big issue with this because their show is essentially saying women, they can't really handle their emotions in battle as shown by this. And I'm not saying that all women can't. Of course, as I mentioned, there are examples of many female commanders who can do it. Just the studies are in. But yeah, a lot of people who, support certain progressive beliefs, I expect would have a massive issue with that.
Yeah, but they're not thinking straight at all, so...
So there's that, right? But anyway, Master Chief, he wants to find his past. He asks Cortana, and she's like, all the information is hidden. And so he has one option to do. He can only do one thing now to discover, because the only way he's been able to... This is so dumb. Why? These magical MacGuffin things, why do they unlock his memories? What do these friggin' things do? I'm genuinely asking that.
MacGuffin.
If these end up being keys to unlock the Halo ring, why the hell do they unlock his emotions? What narrative reason are they going to give us that could logically explain the effects that this is having? And honestly, they would have to reach to try and find something that would be satisfying at this point because it's doing whatever the hell it wants. They said it's somewhat sentient in the previous episode, and so it's it's choosing to do it.
Organic too, somehow. It doesn't look like it.
There's an intelligence that is choosing to help Master Chief because it wants whatever, because reason. What? Who would build something like this? It's so dumb.
I know why in the context of the law, and it's 343 crap law, because in 343 law, it's there's space magic and Master Chief is the chosen one and all that crap. But in 343, in Bungie stuff, it's no, Forerunner technology is just regular technology. You press a button, it opens a door, stuff like that. It's very advanced, but it's just regular technology. It's not magic. And this, Bungie, 343 stuff is all just so far removed from what Halo's meant to be.
Well, then yeah, that is bad because the way that they're showing these magical MacGuffin bullcrap things is that they do whatever the plot wants it to do.
Yeah.
And remember that how I started this review where if you don't have consistency, the payoffs then don't make sense because it's like Deus Ex Machina. It's the writer's just doing whatever, where if you actually have a payoff that was built on rules and the characters are working within the framework you set up, and especially if they find a creative application of the rules that the audience wasn't aware of, but then when the characters do it, the audience can instantly see the connection and it's wow, that worked awesome. Some of the greatest episodes of Doctor Who had that payoff. There is one phenomenal episode called, I forget it, it's the Where's My Mummy episode. It's the one with the gas masks, okay? Watch it, it's brilliant.
Oh yeah, you told me about that one.
Because they set up there's these weird, humans that are having these, things that are turning into mask people and everything like that. And so, in the episode, I'm literally watching, how the hell do they explain this? Some really weird crap is happening, and then the explanation is given when they reveal it, it is actually built on things that they already revealed in the episode, and it's fully consistent with the rules that they establish, and it makes friggin' sense, and explains all the weird crap that's happening, and when you see it all come together, you're like, holy crap!
Same thing with,
And it's a great payoff because it's like a puzzle just coming together.
Yeah.
That's how you do rule-based payoffs, right? In this show, they don't have any of that at all. It's just, it does whatever.
Same.
And the answer is going to be, I bet, this is my prediction, the artifacts chose to do this because they can. And I was like, oh, okay. They can just choose to unlock people's memories. That's the technology the Forerunners decided to give. It's like,
I can tell you why. And it's the same, like what you were saying, the reason in the Doctor Who episode, it justified the explanation. The explanation, which was the good mystery, justified the question. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right? With Halo, humans are the descendants of Forerunners, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why only humans can activate Forerunner technology, and that's why the Covenant don't like humans, because, well, the Prophets, it doesn't justify the Prophets' control of things, right?
and just to explain this to people unaware, this is original Halo lore, not the 343
Thank you.
lore.
Yeah,
Okay.
but also, Shat, when you said, "Oh yeah, I had a look at some lore videos," there's the guy who digitizes people, like
343.
So that's why I never watched that crap.
No, I wanted to see what the differences are.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so the humans can activate Forerunner tech because they were Forerunners. It's said multiple times. Prophets don't like this because it
Invalidates their religion.
invalidates their religion and their power, right? Because they're the religious leaders. It's a theocracy. Every single human can activate Forerunner technology. That's so it justifies the Covenant can't activate the rings without a human because it's biometric. The rings, right? And it makes sense because they were trying to stop the flood, which is a biological threat. So there you go. It's all justified. The fact that humans are Forerunners frames the entire conflict of all of the lore. So, and the fact that they changed that, especially for this show, that they've got a human Covenant around. You're kidding me? You know, like, anyway.
So it's just beyond stupid that these things unlock technology, and they all can do it. So the small thing unlocked his memories, and he just assumes that this big one will do it too, and he must find out what happened to him because this is his emotional crisis. Like his identity crisis. He has to know, which we don't care.
We don't care.
We just wanted Master Chief being awesome and kicking butt, and they've made this drama show which is boring and it's contradictory and it's not enjoyable to watch. It's all bad people doing bad crap, and it's just making Master Chief look weak, mopey, emotionally manipulatable,
And stupid.
and stupid.
Like, if he can't understand where his life really begins, and like why he decided to join the does he have a memory saying, okay, I've decided I'm going to join the thing? Where's his justification for his entire life?
Exactly.
Where do his memories begin and end?
There's no heroic theme to the character now where he's like, I know this happened to me in the past, but I'm choosing to fight anyway because it's the right thing to do. I'm going to save humanity. Now, it's like, I'm only fighting because I was brainwashed to do it. And he's going to have a crisis moment. What will happen with it? Will he choose to give up the fight, or I'll fight on in spite of the people? But it's not engaging, and we don't care. So anyway, he goes to this new artifact, and magically it does the same thing, and this time he actually sees him being kidnapped. And so he goes to actually kill, is it Moran? No, Halsey.
Halsey, Catherine Halsey.
And Cortana just shuts him down, makes him unconscious. That, seriously.
And then she says, you're lucky to be alive when he wakes up.
That is such a big betrayal. Master Chief should never, ever trust Cortana again after that.
Yeah.
He wasn't aware of it now, and I encourage all you guys to watch other reviews, and I've been enjoying watching other reviews of Halo because they bring up things that I missed and that we don't even get to cover, and sometimes they're really valid points. I enjoyed ER's review of the first episode, but Desparu's he's killing it.
Love
Dude,
Desparu.
Love your work, right? And he brings up a really good point. I think it's the episode where Cortana comes in, of how evil Cortana is for taking over Master Chief, right? Yeah. And he's right. She's an awful character.
To be fair, she is the outcome of a human sacrifice. So
there's that.
She's literally I love how Desparu explained it, where she's like, Why can't I take control of the Master Chief? I'm meant to control his brain. Like, what the?
It's really messed up stuff.
HAL 9000 over there.
Like, and so here, yeah, she just shuts him down. Now's aware of it, and like, we'll see how it plays out because there isn't enough time to discover the conflict here because they get attacked, right? A couple of things, right? There was, I skipped a dumb moment because they were trying to, there was a crystal structure, something, on the outside of this artifact that they were trying to break through somehow, okay? And so, there's no, again, things happen just for random reasons. And it's so, like, so they decide to, like, hit it with a laser, okay? To cut into it. And the weird, creepy scientist guy is, like, this close to it. Then the thing basically explodes, but it's not like a flame explosion, it's like a shockwave explosion, and the thing shatters, okay?
Also, the fact that he's just got his face right next to a laser that's cutting through crystal.
I know.
Would you put your face like this close to a bandsaw?
And if someone just stumbled and knocked into you, you thought your head's into, right?
Oh, could you imagine if they did that? That would be so funny.
And on a side note, I was laughing that they gave the creepy scientist guy just like a weird accent. It's like, it's a trope. Even in Man of Steel, right? The Kryptonians, when they capture Superman, has a creepy scientist who has like a Russian accent.
Yeah.
I was like,
Russian or German.
They're aliens and they have a Russian or German accent. It's like, what? And so, anyway, there's that. But the shockwave explosion, right, was powerful enough to knock over a friggin' crane on the outside of this cave. So it's like the people writing this, they just don't know how reality works. Shockwaves are like, they're stronger the closer to the point of origin, and they get weaker because they get dispersed and spread out. And so if it was strong enough to knock over a crane at that distance, the guy who's right next to it where it exploded, he should be obliterated. There would be nothing left of him.
Yep.
But his
pieces around.
He's perfectly fine. And everyone is like holding their ears like some crazy thing happened. Like, I don't know, was it a noise? Like it was inconsistent with what was going on. But they're holding their heads, rocking down. The creepy scientist is inexplicably alive, which is just, with like, if you want immersion realism, be consistent and just basic physics, they do not understand here. Okay.
Also, the shockwave. So remember, this was in an isolated cave with many layers and turns and twists to get to the actual thing, right?
Yeah.
The only open part is the top part. So how did the shockwave and noise manage to get...
Well, this is the other dumb moment. The artifact, literally, in the cave, has a hole above it in the cave. So the artifact is centered underneath a hole.
Big hole, too.
A big hole. Like
at least 6 or 7 meters
and
wide.
it wasn't buried, hidden in a cave. There's literally a hole in the ground that you would walk past and look down and say, oh, there's a thing there. No one found it. And then this is a colonized...
And this is a human colony that was surveyed. They can tell when there's life on other ships and like soil samples and everything. And they would have... You think setting up a colony, you'd take very good care about where you put your colony. You could survey very carefully the area. And they didn't find it?
So dumb.
Also, right, speaking of the hole in the ground, like both the McGuffins in both different separate places, I guarantee you they will not explain or justify why they're there or what they were doing there at all. They're just there for some reason.
Yeah, it's just that why exactly.
Or
It's
why it
so
was
dumb.
sealed in
Yeah,
crystal.
why? You're absolutely right. Why were the ancients, whatever, who they were, on this planet?
Yeah.
What did they build there? Why is this thing there? And it didn't look like there was any other tech around it. It's like they just buried this thing.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Whereas Forerunner Tech is not like they keep their own ruins like preserved, just as like a cultural thing, but their stuff is all metallic. You know, if it's not made of life, like trees and stuff, it's metallic.
So, get this, right? The artifact is free now. It's like, oh, good, job done, load it up, let's go, leave, we're good.
No, Covenant attack. Oh, wait, no,
They don't.
They left it there.
They leave it there.
Yeah.
And then they actually have this prep meeting. It's like, there's going to be a big mission to get this thing onto the ship. We need to do it as fast as possible. They just do it. What is this stupid walking talk thing delay when also this thing just vibrated into this really weird thing? It might attract attention, which it does. In actual fact, that was the legitimate signal that it sends off into space. So far...
And they even said, we should get this out of here because it might be sending a signal. Captain Key says
I know. So they even acknowledge in the show, but they're so incompetent that they don't...
I think it's part of the corporate world. Like right now, you have meetings for meetings now. Where you're like, we should have a meeting for tomorrow so we can organize Friday's meeting. It's kind of like that. They're like organizing to organize themselves.
Yeah, they're organizing to plan to move it. When we actually see how easy it is to move.
They just pick it up.
They just pick it up, chuck it on a car, drive like.
The thing even floats off the ground. You can just kick it along, basically.
They would have had it on a ship in like 10 minutes and then off planet.
Also, they have a, what do you call it? They have a condor, which is just a bigger pelican that has slip space abilities. Why not just move it to the cave entrance?
This show is so friggin' dumb!
No, you have to drive it.
So dumb! And it just gets worse, we're not kidding, because guess what? This stupid alien girl, the Covenant girl, right?
Yeah.
She has gone to Magical where the other artifact was, right? When the thing explodes and sends off the signal, she
has an orgasm.
She has an orgasm. She senses it and just starts to, like, legitimately have physical feelings. And watching this, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. Like, what's going?
Like,
okay.
And it's literally an orgasm.
Like, her expression is, and there's no explanation of her being able to physically sense this signal.
Yeah.
Like, why? Does she have an implant? Is it just the chosen one thing?
It activates her sacred ring.
What is going on? It's so dumb. And is it because she's touching something? This show is retarded. But anyway, yeah, so she feels the signal in a really physical way. Holy crap.
No wonder she wants more Forerunner tech.
My goodness. And then she just knows where the other artifact is. She didn't read anything. Like, it was psychically told her. How? What is going on?
I hope she doesn't find the index, because that thing's the right shape and size.
This show, man.
Yeah.
And so, instead of loading it up, which would have taken 10 minutes, I fly something closer. Like, they just talk about moving it.
Less than
and
10
they don't do a thing.
Also, that condor they could have just moved in front of the thing. It's literally for airlifting stuff. That condor was equipped with all the things necessary to study it too. So, because Miranda was on, like, what the...
And so instead, they have the identity crisis thing, and Chief then decides to touch it himself because the crystal's off, he can touch it. And his reaction on his expression seems to confirm that there is some type of physical response people have when they touch this thing, because he seems to get off on it as well.
What if that's literally the whole...
He's literally like...
What if that's the whole thing? Like, everybody wants the Forerunner artifact because they just give you instant orgasms. That's why the Covenant want it. It's just because they get orgasms from it. It's the blessed machine. Touch it and you feel. Oh.
And so when we actually see the Covenant girl, right, we see an elite calling her the Blessed One. The humans, which is the scum that invalidates their religion.
You are... Oh, man.
He is calling her Blessed One. And...
Dude, in Halo 3, there's a part where the Prophet of Truth communicates with humans. He sends them a message. He's like... He literally starts, "You are all of you vermin, cowering in the dirt, thinking what? That you can escape the coming fire? No. We will burn your world until its surface is but glass. Not even your demon will live to creep, blackened from his hole to mar the reflection of our passage."
So, I'm laughing because of how that is so much more menacing for a villain. Like, the Covenant here is just like, they're like Sims, especially the Prophet guys.
Yeah.
It's just... They're pathetic in this show.
And the humans aren't funny like they're meant to be. You know what happens when that message ends? And because it goes directly to Johnson, Master Chief, and Keyes? Huh. When that message that's sent ends, Master Chief's just like, "Does he usually mention me?" And then Keyes is like, "Cocky bastard, just loves to run his mouth." And it's like, the humans are meant to be the levity, right? Oh, man. And they're all just pissy, weak, sad, moping... Oh.
This show. And so...
Also, right, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
The elites, listen closely, their language and their voices are identical, literally identical, because I checked, to the prawns from District 9.
So they're just using either stock... I wonder if there's like
Well,
stock alien language crap that we can just lift from.
I can explain why.
Why?
They were going to make a Halo movie ages back.
Oh, that's right. And they did District 9 instead.
And they did District 9 instead. And so...
But it wasn't made by the same people.
No, it was. So
Just District 9 was made by Weta Workshop and...
yeah, I know, but like they probably moved over some assets.
maybe.
Because where do you think they got the language for the prawns?
Yeah.
Because they based the bipedal structure off the elites that they were going to make. Yeah, so anyway.
Alright, so Master Chief wakes up and realizes Cortana basically mentally raped him. That's probably a good way to apply. Like, that is taking advantage of someone against their consent in the most invasive, evil way.
Like pure. That's literally what Satan tried to do.
Honestly, this is legitimately as bad as like it's not physical, but it's taking over someone's whole body. This is mental rape.
Yeah, it's...
And they're going to try and make us feel okay with Cortana from this point on and keys and everything. And they're literally taking advantage of Master Chief against his will. This is horrible, evil stuff.
That was my favourite part in Halo when Master Chief says, "This is Cortana. She's got my back. I'd advise not getting killed by her. Her soul traps the sword of its victims," or whatever. Yeah, keep calling her Cortana, Shaq. I love it. It's fine.
My goodness, right? I was just... And anyway, so Cortana.
No, but it's funny though.
said it right.
Cortana's name is actually the name of a magical French sword. So there you go.
She says, slipstream?
Slip space.
Exit, rupture detected. And then almost instantly, they're under attack. It's not like they arrive to the planet, then they have to actually get into the planet's atmosphere and deploy dropships. Like, they're there. Bang! No break at all from detecting the slipstream. And it's like, because they would have had time from the detection to just load it up. Like, loading this thing would not have taken long. But now they're under attack. No one knows what to do. All the military people look incompetent except Master Chief, really. They're just shooting randomly. Like, everyone else is just getting blown to bits. We see a starship just get totally hammered and destroyed.
Somehow by... but also, right, again, the fact that they said... Okay, so she had the orgasm, the Covenant lady, and they managed to get from a completely different system to another system within 20 minutes?
It felt like that.
Yeah.
It's like...
No...
Literally, the thing, the crystal exploded, sent out the thing, she has the physical reaction, and then they're there. How, like, who's writing this? Are they paying attention to anything to be consistent about? And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. They arrive there way too quickly for space travel, all right? And then everyone's getting destroyed. And this is where we see the female Spartan have the emotional breakdown, and Master Chief defies an order to save her life. And look, I'm a little conflicted on because, yeah, it's showing him doing something heroic. I like the main character actually being depicted heroic, but the bad guys, the Covenant, get the artifact because he disobeyed this order. Also, this female Spartan, she is getting hit by plasma things. Didn't it say her shield was down?
Yeah, when you hear the boop, 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 shields are down.
And she's just getting blown to hell, and
it shows her shield is still up.
And the shield is still up.
But also, right, Master Chief defying order, there was only one time in Bungie Halo where he ever defied an order, and that was to save Captain Keyes when he was captured. But
so it might be in line with his character.
Well, like, not exactly, right, because... everything was basically going to hell. Yeah. Like, the flood had been released and he was trying to save him.
And look, she's a Spartan. Like you kind of know... Because, actually, in actual fact, even the thing that we saw showed that Spartans will sacrifice their lives to get the mission done.
Yeah.
And so, like, Master Chief should know that, yeah, the mission is priority in this instance. I actually think, no, this is actually out of the character that should be there.
It would depend on what the object was. Like, if it was the index, which is the key that turns the Halo on, like the thing that starts the weapon system of it, he would definitely not sacrifice... Like, he would allow one of his soldiers to die for that.
Yeah.
But if it...
Random thing that we don't know what it does.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I might have a point there. And so, he jumps off to try and save her, right? And... in the fight, we finally see some other of the enemies. We see grunts. What were the other ones?
Jackals, they're called.
They are not consistent with how they are supposed to fight from the source material.
Yeah, so basically, the Covenant have a very, not specific, but very coordinated structure, right? The elites.
It's like a hierarchy, a caste system.
They literally have a caste system, right? It's funny. It would be funny if they all had Indian accents. Imagine that.
Chief, wait! The Arbiter's with us! Come on now. We've got enough to worry about without you two trying to kill each other.
My friend, you are not a dentist, okay? Next time you do that, I eat your gun, okay?
No, but right, it'd be better than what they've got for this show. So the elites direct, they're like the sergeants or captains, right?
Yeah.
And in Halo, and it's an actual gameplay mechanic, in Halo, if you kill the elite first, do you know what the grunts do? The elite is dead, you know? And the jackals, if you get too close to them, it's their characteristic that they're cowardly. They don't do melee combat because they're weak. They're literally based on birds. They've got hollow bones, you know, so they have their shields and they stay behind them and shoot at you with those. And they don't have plasma rifles.
Or
Yeah.
Well, we saw one of those aliens
Energy sword.
with an energy sword. Like, how, from what you explained, how more contradictory to the source material could you actually have for these aliens? Now, with a sword, that means you go into melee, which is like against what they do.
Yeah. Also, like both the plasma rifle and the energy sword are like honor, like the elites. They're like a samurai culture almost.
Yeah.
Their weapons are honor to them. So in Halo. If you pick up, in Halo 3, if you pick up an energy sword around the Arbiter, he says, take care with that weapon, Spartan. It's, you know, honor thing. Same with the rifles, you know? It's like...
Again, well, they've admitted they didn't play the games, Oz.
And then they had the gall to say in this game, I know how the game is played, Cortana.
I know, right?
No, you bloody don't.
Cortana tries to tell him what to do, and then he says, I know. And our reaction is like, the creators don't know. This is all the irony of that hypocrisy is astounding.
The one cool thing that they did show with the weapons was, and it's still they failed as well, the Needler, right? The dude gets shot and then he explodes, right?
Yeah.
One, it should take half a clip, so it should be like 10 instead of 4 that he was hit with. And two, again, the whole gore, I don't like it doesn't suit Halo, man.
See, that I don't mind. Again, I'm not as exposed to Halo.
But Halo's meant to be more the horror, the body horror and gore is reserved for the Flood.
And I get that. Look, there were some moments where I thought that they depicted the Spartans, or I didn't mind that they were moving really fast and things. But what the biggest moment in this fight scene was so astoundingly dumb. This was, again, why I prefaced this review about climax and payoffs and everything like that. Where, to save the female Spartan, which is having an emotional breakdown because she's a woman, apparently. That's what the show is showing, not me. That's what the show is saying. To save her, he jumps on, what are they called?
Banshee.
A Banshee, okay? I almost can't do it, guys. It's hard for me to express how astronomically stupid this is. So the payoff is that he is going to it would make sense if he was able to get control of it and fly it into another thing and jump off just in time to save himself. Because if you're part of a ship that is clashing, like hitting into another ship and there's a massive explosion, you're probably going to die.
If it was in the games, right? You can skyjack people, you can hijack them, right? But that's only if they get close enough to the ground. You're not like, but still, they could have, if they hijacked it, that would have been a nod to the games, and that would have been fine. He wouldn't be able to kamikaze it because it'd die, but
so instead of doing anything that makes sense to be able to achieve this payoff in a logically consistent way to make us go, okay, yeah, that's cool. Like, it's almost like they go out of their way to do the opposite. He's on top and he shoots into the hull, and there is no sign that the bullets are penetrating. It's like it's
useless. Ricochet.
Yeah, like it looks like useless shooting, doing nothing, and then it turns and he starts to fall off, and he grabs the bottom of it. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding when I describe this, right? This show literally portrays him being able to maneuver the ship by hanging on the underside of it to the point where he can maneuver it and send it on a collision course to another ship, in which he doesn't let go of and he holds on to as it hits and it explodes with him in the explosion. It's so dumb! And so he should be dead, and he shouldn't have been able to... Can you control banshees by hanging on the bottom? I don't think so!
So in Halo 1 and 2 and 3, the wings are fixed, so the wings don't actually move. It's entirely anti-gravity.
But even if they were like had to rotate,
it's only one wing. What about the back and the other wing?
It's so friggin' stupid. And this is the biggest climactic action event of this entire fight scene action stuff. And it is wrapped up and justified by such astounding stupidity that I'm watching just like, what? Are you kidding me?
If they wanted to blow up the Phantom, which is what that particular one was called, they could have had him get into a tank, which would have been cool. Yet to see one of the tanks.
That would have been awesome.
Had a Hornet or even a rocket launcher. A few rocket rounds will destroy one of those.
But what if they actually showed something from the games? A skyjacking.
Yeah.
Shoots one of the parts, sends him out, gets in, does cool things, fights other people, aliens and everything, collision course, jump off just in time, bang! But they decided to go out of their way to show him, depict him doing astoundingly dumb things on a kamikaze thing that should kill him. Like, it's a massive explosion. He should be dead. I don't know. The shields with the shields?
No, he should be dead.
But then he just gets up and just
In the games,
cracks his neck.
Yeah.
In the games, if you fall from too high a distance, you'll die, right? And also, in the trailers, one of the trailers they've shown us, they've shown him jumping from orbit with nothing. Like, literally jumps from a pelican off into space, falling to planet, and fine. Like, you saw the drop pod show for the Covenant, right?
Yeah.
Humans have that. Humans have drop pods, and they use it in the...
Wow.
So we'll just wait till we get to that point.
Wow. So, yeah, he gets up, he's fine. Then the female Spartan, she's alive. And even though she's been... And then just conveniently...
The elite.
The elite's
just like... Hey,
yeah,
I don't like you.
Conveniently, suddenly the aliens that are attacking her don't have guns anymore.
Yeah.
And he's just kicking her. It's like, where did the guns go?
Yeah, and going by Halo Reach's stuff, which is a bit, the elites should have little energy daggers that come out of their wrists in their armor. Not the bloody jackals, but for some reason, no, we just forget that. He's lost any weapon that he has. He can't shoot her.
Yeah.
He's just gonna kick her a few times. Even then, they're melee in the game. 2 hits from an elite, you're dead if you're hit by melee.
Yeah. And so he saves her, but because he defied orders, the Covenant get their hands on the artifact and take it off into space, and they're like,
and they show us Atriox too.
Oh yeah, the brute that comes on, and I don't know who he is, but there's a big guy.
He's 343. He's like after Halo 3 and all the good Halo games are done, where they had a decent story and characters, they started doing new stuff like, oh no, there's a, like, for example, right, Forerunners, yeah? Well, after all of the original Halo lore was settled, with the trilogy wrapping it all up, Halo 4, no, the Forerunners had their own Forerunners called the Precursors, and the tagline for Halo 4 was, get this, an ancient evil awakens. It's just so cringe. Anyway, that brute, if they wanted to do a brute who was around at that time and wasn't separate from the Covenant like Atriox was, Tartarus. He's a villain of Halo 2. He's got the gravity hammer. He's a cool guy.
And so they get the MacGuffin, and then the Covenant girl says, "Make it look good," and then they send her off in a drop pod and show them trying to shoot it. And so the show is trying to convey or make it seem like she was a prisoner that escaped from this ship that they brought a prisoner with them to attack a planet. Okay, whatever. But she escaped, and they tried to shoot her in the escape, but couldn't manage it.
But how would she possibly have escaped?
I know. This is so dumb. And then she goes out of the pod, falls unconscious, and if they they will do it. They're gonna trust her, believe the story when it's so astounding bullcrap. Like, no way would you trust this.
Yeah.
This girl.
Petrus said something funny because we watched it together the other night, right? And he's like, when she falls over, like Cortana's like, her vitals are showing she's perfectly fine. I don't know why she fell over. But also, right? Why give back the prisoner and then try to kill the prisoner?
If she's a sacred one and she's so special as well, like
What
what
exactly-
are they trying to achieve? To get the other artifact as well?
She
Like,
can detect them, so, like, yeah.
so dumb.
You know what I would do if I were the Covenant? I'd, like, make a fake artifact. Or, tell you what, grab that artifact, put a tracker on it, and maybe give it back to them.
Or just go and attack the planet because they're more powerful than the humans at this point. Just
Well, they
blow
don't.
everything up.
That's the thing. The Cold Protocol, and this is one thing they actually managed to keep. So thank you for putting this in Halo. I almost said Star Wars.
Oh yeah, they don't know where the planet is.
Yeah.
They
So
can't really-
whenever they can't allow the location of any human colony, especially Earth, to be
Yeah.
found.
Yeah.
So whenever they flee an engagement, they have to set a random jump away from.
Yeah, but why would they care? Because they leave colonies intact when they find them.
Yeah.
Like they went to Madrigal and they left Madrigal intact. It was fine.
I never claimed they were consistent. Chuck. Yeah.
So, those are the biggest things that stuck out to me in this episode. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to mention before we go into a scene-by-scene review quickly?
That this show sucks. It's full of crappy 343. And 343 signed off on this. They literally had Kiki Wolfkill, what a name, who's a blight on Halo just like everyone else in 343. And, yeah, so this is their fault.
They wanted a Master Cheeks identity crisis story. And, again, think about what's actually been achieved in the narrative so much. They find MacGuffin, and look, I know it's not technically MacGuffin, but I'm
No,
going
it
to
is.
call it that.
It's absolutely MacGuffin.
No, it's a plot device at the moment. A MacGuffin, like
That's what a plot- that's what a MacGuffin is.
fulfill the strict definition of MacGuffin is that you're not supposed to know what it is.
We also don't know what that is.
No, we've seen it though. Like this is why the One Ring isn't technically a MacGuffin. A perfect example of a MacGuffin is I haven't even seen this, but it's in Pulp Fiction. They have like there's something in a briefcase, but they never show what's in the briefcase.
But the fact that they show the briefcase.
No, the thing in the brief, like a MacGuffin is a plot device that's
how do you
its
know-
only purpose is to drive the plot forward, and it isn't supposed to actually interact with the plot. It's not supposed to be a object that thing.
Wait, how can it drive the plot forward if it doesn't interact with the plot?
Because it's just a thing to be desired that the characters are trying to get.
That's
or
what this
go
is.
after. No, but
But the
it's
briefcase is the thing that we identify. Okay, that's the MacGuffin. We know that's
no,
the
it's the thing in the briefcase.
Yeah, but how would we know if we're looking at the thing that's in the briefcase if there wasn't the briefcase?
It's just the wrapping over the thing.
Yeah, but still, like, how do we know something's a present if it isn't wrapped? How do we know
Because they could say that it's not in the briefcase anymore, and now it's something else, and that's why it's not the briefcase.
Yeah, but it is the briefcase because the briefcase is part of it. The briefcase is part of the MacGuffin.
I don't think so. But
I think
anyway,
it is.
there is that's the more technical understanding of MacGuffin to my understanding. But I think I'll just call it that. But I'm perpetuating the, I don't know.
That's
Let us
what
know
I
in the
think it
comments. Technically, it's a plot device, but
Are you going by, what's his name? Who's the director? The guy who did the horror movies. He did Scream. Not Scream.
I know what.
You know who I'm talking about.
Hitchcock.
Yeah, Hitchcock. Are you going by his definition?
I think this is his definition.
I
of
think
MacGuffin.
you're incorrect. His definition was the thing that drives the plot forward that has...
We can double, but maybe
We'll
you
check.
guys will know in the comments.
If I'm wrong, I will...
No, you know why I know I'm wrong?
Why?
Because I did a whole video on it. and
You just
people-
said you know why I know I'm wrong.
Oh, sorry. You know why I know I'm right. I
Phrase.
did a whole video on this, and
Well,
people called me out on it. And I had to do a
yeah.
correction.
Well,
And, like literally, if you
Halo
type,
people...
no, if you type
343
"I am wrong"
fans-
on Shadowversity, you'll find that video where I have to do the correction about what a MacGuffin
Yeah,
is.
343 fans also make videos on why Halo 5 is great, you know, like, doesn't mean they're right. And just because people in the
you
comments
know
said
why?
you're wrong...
Because I double checked it when they said I was
Where'd
wrong.
you check? What's your sources?
In multiple sources. I can't remember. This is over a year or two old.
Sources, please. I'm being a lefty right now.
You're being stupid.
I just have a different definition for MacGuffin.
That's
For me, the distinction between, we haven't seen
I
it.
deny your reality and substitute my own.
No, just objectivity, okay? Like, where this is a story element. My definition of a MacGuffin versus one you don't know what it is, or one you don't
is the
see
more
it.
general definition, which is a plot device, essentially.
Yeah, but just 'cause you
an
don't see
object.
it-
Yeah, your definition is an object that's a plot device.
Yeah, basically. But just because you don't see it, like, what's the difference? One, you don't know what it does. Two, you don't see it. I mean...
Because an actual MacGuffin is supposed to be only service to the plot and not actually take a role in the story apart from people's response to it. No, see, this is actually exploding things and causing memories and stuff. So it's doing things in the plot, where an actual MacGuffin
Barely.
isn't supposed to do anything. The only thing that it does is something to be desired by the characters in the story.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Look, I mean, if it's hitting 9 out of 10 things, I'm just going to call it McGuffin.
Let us know in the comments, right?
Yeah.
Nathan, broad thoughts?
They had so much opportunity to make this good. So much. It just baffles me that they can't get even a simple action scene right.
Yep.
It's shocking how bad it is. Like, it's so obvious. If you're going to want to crash a ship into another ship, you just take over the controls and fly it towards and jump out. That incompetent, they couldn't even do that. Where he'll hang on the bottom of it, magically steer it to where he wants to go, and then fly into the explosion with it.
And also, this is meant to be a really expensive show, and I feel like it looks so cheap. Like, those action sequences feel so cheap, and the guns look so fake.
Yeah.
Like, saying that you spent this much puts less trust in me.
Well, also, right, because this was Wheel of Time looked really cheap in many areas as well. I'm starting to suspect that the people making the show, they, instead of injecting a lot of the money into the production, took it in their own paychecks.
Yeah.
Then they're just walking away with the cash.
Yeah.
I really feel that.
Because I've seen people make their own props for, like, guns and whatever. They look 10 times better than this stuff, which just looks...
When the Halo movie was being made, there was the massive, like, production dramas. So, like, it was in development hell when basically all the effects and props were made and everything was set up to go right. Neil Blomkamp was sick of the production hell, so he was like, hey, let's just do a screen test and throw something together out back. And this is what they did. You were talking about cheap props and stuff? Check this out, man. I don't play the whole thing because it's 7 minutes long, but, like, the guns look real, everything feels real, the Covenant... Like, those are meant to be brutes. And they are brutes. Those are 343 strapped, they have no hair or...
It already looks better than the show.
Yeah, because this is Neil Blomkamp. The guy's a genius.
But it doesn't have that weird cinematic texture. This looks actually like it's a filmed battlefield.
Yeah. Oh, man. So much better, right?
Like, even the aliens look better.
Yeah.
Like, it's the low quality actually brings out more character to
Yeah.
it.
It's like, what could have been, man? What could have been? Do you know who was attached to this? Do you know who was meant to be... Not just Neil Blomkamp. Guess who else was working on this? Peter Jackson.
Hurrah.
Peter Jackson and Weta. We could have had
Oh my goodness.
Kino of the highest degree.
This Phalo show needs to go down in history as one of the greatest adaptation fails ever made. I really think this.
I think it's done on purpose, man. I think it's done on purpose.
Gosh.
I agree, Oz, but we should still call them out on it.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Like I'm saying, the people who were like, let's make a Halo show.
Yeah, like
they were like, let's make it awful.
Yeah.
And they gave it to someone who was bad.
I kind of think that they looked at it as like, well, the leading character is too toxic, and we can't have him be so cool, and we have to have an emotional story that connects, and we have to make sure it represents everyone and everything, and that is a type of what is it like pop culture terrorism or
cultural terrorism.
Terrorism, without them actually thinking, I want to destroy culture, but their priorities actively make them malicious in their attempt, because they didn't approach this to make a Halo show.
Yeah.
They approached to make their tick box appropriation thing.
They could have done that. They could have ticked the box if they did Contact Harvest. The main character is black. And he's awesome, and everyone loves him. It even has a mixed race.
This is where they want to jerk off to themselves, because they want to make their story to show how great they are. This is why Wheel of Time show is so freaking crap, because it was the Rafe Judkins show where he wanted to have his own story that he built on the desecrated remains of it's a beautiful, glorious property, but he destroyed the show. The show could have... it's just...
I know why they didn't do Contact Harvest. Because in Contact Harvest, the prophets literally speak to a Forerunner artificial intelligence, and the artificial intelligence says, this symbol, which is a human, this is my maker. And then the prophets in response are like, the Forerunners, some of them were left behind. And since 343 retconned that, that's why they didn't do it. But it would have been incredible because it's a great book.
So I'd probably give this maybe a 1 out of 10, just for the small little, hey, there's a line, and there's like, some action, that isn't terrible, but it's all wrapped up in crap.
Again, like there might be things like the the badass black Spartan who's like, shut up, bitch, right? Or the Needler being represented okay, right? But that doesn't redeem anything for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's just sad that I got excited when I saw the aliens conveyed in the right way. Like when I saw Grunt, I was like, "It's Halo Oz!" And then obviously it like went back to being really.
Even though they introduced the grunts, we like the grunts not because they're feared warriors, but because they're funny.
Yeah.
They're talking smack when. Oh man. Oh.
We didn't get any of that though, in the show.
No.
All right. Well, we'll go to what we like to do. As you've probably seen, is now go to a scene by scene thing because there are small little things that we miss. It's easy to remember the big problems, but going through scene by scene just. And when I say quickly, it probably won't be quick, but it reminds us, and we also see even more things.
I'll try to put chapters in this one so we can, if you want to skip through. Okay, so they're on Aridnus. They spend this episode.
This is all
sticking
flashback
around.
stuff, so we can quickly skip it.
Also, just quickly, right? So he stole this dude's bike, and it broke down on their way because he's trying to get on one of the transport ships, right?
Yeah.
The dude says the transport ship's 200 miles, and I can take you there for a price. So his bike should be capable of doing
that. You'd think that.
Yeah. Anyway. Crap in the hair.
Alright, so now, the children thing.
This is just Globo homo propaganda. Like, this is the world they want.
Where the state gets to educate the kids in the way that they want, and they'll teach them things, and, don't tell the parents.
Yep. That's literally commie, right? Like...
It feels very... utopian commune style.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Bloody hell. They even show us the pod that they live in. Yeah, so...
And then we see little bullying little master Cheeks, and then suddenly he has superhuman strength for a child.
Yeah, he can hold up a kid twice the size of him.
Yep, and
double his age.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that hat? Why?
He's not working. He's a classy man when he's off shift.
But why couldn't he be Johnson? I mean, he's acting like a bitch compared to Johnson. Johnson was a badass. But anyway, yeah. So
they're coming to the planet because they want to research stuff too.
Yeah. Also, so you know how Captain Keyes takes her off the thing? Mm-hmm. It was Parangoski, the Indian lady, who says, "Okay, you're on the team. I'm having you do this."
I don't know.
It just.
But also go back. They like acknowledged that the red in hair looks terrible.
Yeah.
They're just gonna leave it. And by the way, I'm glad people were mentioning this in the comments. Like, it's gun grease. This stuff would stink.
Yeah.
It would be awful. It would do horrible things to your hair. Probably make it fall out or something like that. So there's all that right behind it. But if they acknowledge that it looks terrible, why does she still have it? They're contradicting their own narrative that they set up in the show. It's terrible. Get it out of your friggin' hair, you idiot. You know that it looks awful.
It's just as stupid as, like, let's say that she was, like in the mess hall, like, eating spaghetti. And she's just like... It's just as stupid as that.
It is. Just as she was, like getting tomato sauce and, like...
Yeah. It was her time of the month that she's just like...
You had to go there.
I'm sorry, man. This show is disgusting and I hate it.
Yeah, it always brings a gross side out of you as well.
Yeah. So they're clearly going to have some sort of lesbianic relationship.
No,
I reckon that... I was thinking
Chief.
they might do her in Chief.
No, why would they do her in Chief?
Well, you're right. They
Chief's not gonna have a love
they
interest.
probably would like something more representative, wouldn't they?
Yeah, look, she's blonde, but she's not a golden retriever, you know? Like, Chief wouldn't be interested. I think these two will have a lesbian relationship.
Probably.
We've seen the signs.
Yeah.
Makes sense because...
Or it'll be an open relationship.
Well, look, it just makes sense because she's part black and she's white, and every single relationship we've seen so far in this show has been mixed race. I've checked.
Really? Every single one?
Every single one. Master Chief even notes one on the subway. Seriously, did you see that? Where he's like, he sees them and he's like...
This is the thing. Nothing against mixed race relationships, sure, fine, but when they go out of their way, like that must be intentional.
Yeah.
It's like, do they have something against... I don't get it.
It's like, I like computers, but if I get a call every 15 seconds saying, hey, you want to buy a computer? I'm going to start hating computers. I just mean, like, I don't like being sold something over and over again.
We see the blatant progressivism just again and again.
Tripping.
Like, and for instance, the desert fascists in those trench coats and everything like
yeah.
that, they all looked a certain way, and they're the ones doing it.
They did it with Wheel of Time too.
This is not us, doing this stuff. They're the ones they're the ones who are so obsessed with race that they think that it has to be done a certain way. That's, to me, reflecting a very racist attitude on their behalf.
They did it in Wheel of Time as well. Mm-hmm. Or the White Cloaks. They all have the same haircut.
They're like, race shouldn't matter, but they're going out of their way because they're so hung up on it.
Mm. The only race I care about, like seriously, I think it's probably the best race, is the Daytona 500. Best race there is.
Lots of racing in there.
Yeah.
You could almost people who engage in it, racists.
Yeah, because they love racing.
They're racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the case, man, racism is thrilling.
Like dental work, if you do dental work, you're a dentist. Mm-hmm. So if you race, you must be a racist.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, man. All right, so, okay, great, they got but it's a 343 Warthog. He's got the bloody things on the back. So they said during this part, Halsey spent so much money on this thing. Okay, so 1, the military goes places and sets up camp all the time. 2, humans are colonizing other planets with spaceships.
Look, I guess they don't know how to get it free of the crystal, but it does seem like a lot of infrastructure they're putting on the ground just to get a thing out of a rock.
If they can fly across the universe in spaceships, they can crack a crystal.
You'd think that. And the other thing is, if there's so much infrastructure there, the only reason I could think to justify it would be for security. Mm. But we get to see how effective their security is in this episode.
Yeah.
They're useless.
Yeah.
Everyone is useless in the fight, except maybe Master Chief a little bit. They get their asses handed to them.
Yeah.
Their friggin' spaceship in orbit just gets destroyed, right? And you'd think it would be there on guard for that very possibility.
Yeah. Also...
But it's like they get hit with their pants down and they weren't ready for it.
But they said in the show, we got to get this thing out of here before the Covenant knows we're looking for.
They even acknowledge that, they'll probably send out a signal, and they're so incompetent.
If you've been fighting a war and you're aware of your enemy's capabilities, you bring countermeasures with you to counter those
So dumb.
This show was written by people who have literally no idea about anything.
This show is so bad.
Like, I'm not kidding. I can't even comprehend how stupid you'd have to be to write this. You'd have to be a literal moron. And that's not me being flippant or insulting. I mean, literally a moron.
There's a lot. It's reflected in a lot of things, like just basically how physics work, how people interact, like
how military structures work,
like
how humans
That's one
interact.
of the things you do as a writer. You research stuff to reflect it realistically, so it's believable and immersive. Even if you're doing unrealistic fantasy sci-fi stuff, you try and make it immersive and.
At least.
And so, so you see, the thing is, we'll skip past it, but that's the hole.
Yeah,
so
big hole.
Skip forward, see if it will still be on the hole.
It won't.
Yeah, but
you
you kind of see the hole there, like. Okay, so skip back, play it for like half a second. There we go. That's. No one found that. No one walked past and looked down like, oh, strange object.
Also, the fact that around, like next to it, it seems to be that there's a massive area cut out. They didn't see that. You think that people are they put a colony right next to it, like, wait a minute, it looks like something's been cut out of that entire valley.
I know, it's like it's in a quarry, right?
Yeah.
And then, the crane is there to lift it out, assumedly, but we find out in this episode, they don't need to do that. They just pick it up and put it on a truck.
Yep.
This is what we mean about the writers being stupid. Because did anyone think about this?
They just kind of forgot about it. So dumb. Anyway, yep. Okay, so how
and
did
so
they get in
the other
crystal,
question
and
is,
why is it there?
Why is it encased in crystal? Like, what is the logic through line as to what did the Forerunners do? What is it meant to do? And what was the purpose of it being there? And why is it there now? And what is the purpose of the crystal? Everything is dumb.
So in the Halo trilogy, there's only 3 McGuffins, right? There's the Index, which is a thing that can turn the Halos on and make them fire. There's...
Not a MacGuffin.
Well, look, that's my version.
I know.
Okay?
I'm just
shorthand.
I'm going to
Fine.
annoy you.
The plot device.
But no, it's because I kind of like calling it a MacGuffin too.
Yeah, it's like MacGuffin, like jumping the shark. It's one of the terms.
But if we use it in that context, maybe we'll just say there's 2 contexts of MacGuffin, and we're using it for a plot device that's an object.
Okay, and I swear I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying this to the people who would have a problem with it that are on the other side of the internet. So not you. If you have a problem with me calling it MacGuffin, Fuck off. I don't care. That's what I'm calling it.
I feel
That's
offended.
not for you.
I feel offended.
That's not for you,
That
Shad.
was that.
That's
I
fair.
know that was for me. I know
No,
that.
it's not for you. Shad, if I wanted to say...
I'm so offended. I'm going to scream into... I'm just going to scream, because that's what you do when you have a problem and you can't solve. You just scream.
Shad,
remember?
you know that me and you are fine to have disagreements.
I know.
If I was to say... I wouldn't say that. I'd say, Shad, respectfully, I disagree. But it means the same thing. Kidding. So, yeah. Oh, he's got his helmet on.
Could you go back? There's actual cut stone in that hole. Again, it's just see this.
But again, if it was Forerunner, it'd all be metal and it'd all look cool.
Yeah, like
Oh,
what
man.
the Forerunners were just digging. They were.
Yeah, just dig. Or like, do you know what'd be funny? It's literally. Imagine if it's like their landfill, and since it's been hundreds of thousands of years, all the trash is decomposed, but they left like the marker that says, "Here's the landfill." Like, it's oh, you know what it is? The McGuffins are like some Forerunners buried hard drive that has like porn on it.
They had a Puritan revolution and they threw out all the degenerate crap, and this is just one of those rejected sex toys that's like, we will have none of that. It's in their dump here.
Yeah, glory hole. All right.
Yeah, it's an object basically.
And that's what they call it, you know.
And so they're
So
broken
he's got
down.
tools. Oh, it's muted. So they've got tools.
No, stop, because I could only play for a second at most.
Okay. Well, I won't show it. I won't show any footage because Angry Joe. So, by the way, right? Angry Joe is like, oh, they shut our thing down for the 5th time. Stop putting footage in, maybe. Like,
Oh, I kind of agree with Joe that you shouldn't have to be browbeaten into compliance.
I know.
Because they're abusing the system.
but if they keep doing it, then you can make it easier on yourself. But you know what? He doesn't want to because would he make more views if he keeps uploading it?
I don't know, but the thing
He
is, I say good on him for fighting against him, and you know.
Yeah, but I just think, okay, you know. So yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, he wants to.
Some of
keep
the
her
dialogue,
around.
she's so entitled. Like, they have not made a single thing likable about this character.
Not even her haircut.
It's just, and it's consistently unlikable. You'd think maybe there'd be some moment after several episodes where she does something that's, you know, enjoyable with her being in the scene.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I read a comment. Someone's like, I think the people who make this literally hate women and minorities
It feels like that.
because they keep.
They are consistently.
Yeah.
Like Captain Marvel is just an example already where they're awful jerks.
Yeah.
But it's that, honestly, it leans into the extremist feminist mentality of embracing the bitchiness, basically.
Yeah.
Where
Well, that's the thing. It's a coin, right? And either
like,
side.
you slay girl, you tell them what
Yeah,
for.
Slay Queen. Either they hate them and they want us to hate them by doing this, or they love them so much they project their own personality onto it, and their personality is so spiteful.
Like who like out of the larger majority of people, how popular are extremist feminists? Just think about that.
Well, it's
modeling
the corporations-
characters after them.
Are the corporations, YouTube, and most of the internet propping them up and putting them in our face everywhere, or is it just a general interaction? Which one?
Yeah.
Man. Anyway, for some reason, he wants to keep her around.
Yeah, but
Like-
look, I kind of get this. She owes him.
But what is she possibly going to do
I
to
know,
give her value?
because that's the other thing is like if he actually thinks about what she wouldn't be able to pay off his ship or give him the the money. And by the way, what resource did she say they would?
Deuterium.
That's like
Heavy hydrogen. Germans made that in 1930.
you can just make it really easily.
Yeah.
It's not a rare resource.
Yeah, Germans made that. Why would it be a
But
fuel here?
again, remember how he said the writers do something and they don't research anything, they're just dumb? It's like, deuterium, that sounds sci-fi, we'll do that. Like, at least Star Trek made up, dilithium. Like, you could make up something, but they just pick a random word and they do no research to figure out how it actually is used and fits into the world.
Yeah. Also,
So dumb.
So look at what has happened here. Through listening to her and giving her so many chances, he's ended up with no ship, stranded in the middle of nowhere on a planet, right? And he wants to somehow extract wealth from her, either as a slave or work it off. What was the other option you said? Either you'll give me the stuff or I'll sell you. Just sell her.
At this point...
The bounty,
Yeah.
I mean, he's like... And we're not saying that, this would make the character more likable in terms of Soren, but... He's showing that he's a pirate. He'll steal, he'll do things, and so the fact that this character is not shot her yet,
Yeah.
Like, my goodness.
Also, I disagree with you there, Shad. I feel like if he did shoot her, he'd instantly be more likable for me.
That maybe.
So yeah, he locks her up and he goes off.
Because he needs to find something else, and so she's got to break free, and we'll come to that scene.
Yep.
Wow. So yeah, back in the cave.
Yep, that's mother and daughter both working on a thing. By the way, they wouldn't be working together. Miranda wouldn't be working with directly under her dad's command. It's called fraternization. The military very much looks down on it. Not in Star Trek, because they're above that. But you're not meant... There's a conflict of interest. It's called fraternization.
But is that the original game? Because they are related to the original game.
Yeah, but they're not... They're like, she's on the opposite side of the galaxy to him.
Yeah.
He's... so, no, they wouldn't be working underneath each other. That sounded weird. They would be working with each other.
And yeah, trying to break into the crystal and just stuff.
Yeah.
So this is we are preparing to move the thing, and we must move it fast. And they have their full-on meeting where they're pre-planning to just move a thing, which they show they were able to pick up and load on a truck. It's so dumb.
You know what also is dumb? If they didn't try to move it and just studied it for a lot longer, the Covenant wouldn't have showed up.
Yep. And so this is also the interaction where, like, the black guy just tells her, "You look like a flippin' that gun grease is sinking into your." I forget the line, but
he said, "What did he say? I wonder if that gun grease in your hair had trickled down into your brain, making you ask stupid questions like that."
Like they're finally having the discussion. What do the aliens really want? After how long have they been fighting?
30 years.
This show is dumb!
It's beyond dumb. It's beyond retarded. The fact that they're fighting an enemy for 30 years, losing, and still don't know their language, or why the f*** they're even fighting them!
Show, man.
Are you insane? Oh, man. Even in... Contact Harvest, they first make contact with the aliens. They don't speak their language. The aliens come down and they're like, okay. They show them pictures, right? They show them pictures of, since it's a garden farming planet, they show them pictures of the humans and aliens. The humans do this. They make a hologram and show them the humans and the aliens sharing in the fruit and the harvest, right? Because they notice that, oh, the aliens keep attacking our ships, which have fruit on them. They must want the fruit, right? But no, it's because every time they turn their Forerunner detector on, it points at a human ship. Like, there's one human on one ship, the thing says, oh, there's a Forerunner object there, they go there, they kill the human, oh, there's no Forerunner detector here anymore. Anyway, so, like, they don't, and then in response to the holograms that the humans show them, the aliens give them a carving on a piece of metal that shows the humans handing them the planet that they're on. Because the planet, their detectors say there's hundreds of thousands of Forerunner objects here. So, just more humans equal Forerunner. Anyway, so, yeah. Even then, first contact, they're like, oh, they want the planet. So stupid. Imagine World War II. The Americans don't speak German. The Americans don't speak Japanese.
Why are they attacking us? Have you ever wondered?
No.
They're implying that the only reason she's bothering to ask it because now she has emotions. Like, there's no logical, dispassionate, emotional thing which would cause you to ask such a question.
Yeah.
Only if you have emotions, now you'll start to wonder about the world.
Yeah.
Because that's how emotions work.
Going back to the why are they attacking us, I know what they're going to do. They're going to do that the aliens came to humanity like, hey, can we have these Forerunner objects? And humanity just started attacking.
Yeah, they got.
That's what they're going to do.
That was one of my predictions in the previous one.
Well, I said it too.
Yeah,
I
so
think
both of our predictions.
I think you're wrong. No, I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
We've got the recording.
No, I said it and then you're like, yeah, that's my agreement too. I agree.
I don't know. Okay.
We've got
one of us is appropriating the other in our predictions.
Well, I think we do this a lot though. Both of us together.
Maybe.
Like, sometimes you do it to me and sometimes I do it to you. It's because we're so in tune.
Maybe.
It's because we're so similar.
Unless I was the one who said that maybe we do it both and you're appropriating that as well.
Dude. One day you're going to take an anti... What do you call it? What's the word?
Arsehole pill?
No, you're going to take... You're close. You're going to take a schizophrenia pill and I'm going to disappear. Oh, man.
Alright, let's go back to skipping.
Okay, yeah. Oh, look at that. She's literally just like... Sorry, I'm going to take it back and play that. like asking me stupid ass questions like that, bitch. And then she's just like, sit down in your brain, ask me dumb ass questions like that, bitch. And then she's just like, it's like a customer at the store. Like, she's like working retail, and then some black guy's like, hey, bitch. And then she's like, oh man! Oh, he's wearing his helmet.
He's wearing his helmet.
Yeah.
But sorry. When he finds the Covenant girl, this is directly after a battle. There could be bad guys anywhere still, and he takes off the helmet in the middle of a battlefield.
Yeah.
What a
With,
moron.
with jackals around. There's literally a meme for Halo 2 because the jackals, they either have a shield or they're up in a tree with a sniper because they have excellent eyesight because they're based on birds.
Yeah.
There's literally a meme that's like jackal snipers, like holy shit, everyone's terrified of them.
Oh yeah, he sees the red and instantly, for some reason, just knows she took out the emotion thing.
Yep.
And then it's hypocritical saying, "You're benched. What did you do this for?"
No, it takes off his helmet. Yeah.
I mean, it seemed alright, but really, this is the only explanation for Master Chief's stance that she needs to be benched and he doesn't, is that he thinks a woman can't handle it. Well, that's the only difference between her and him at the moment I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because the writers are terrible.
Yeah, of course,
And they have
have no idea.
consistency. And they thought, and you know what? They made him say that just so she could say, well, what about you? Like, yeah, Planet Magical just showed up in the same place.
Yeah, and so aliens searching for artifact, and they haven't destroyed the planets.
Yeah.
Like, originally, any human planet that they know of, wipe out. But
Also, they're looking in the one place they know it won't be.
they're looking for signs of where it went to, or something like that.
Yeah, but just because I buy something from Radio Shack doesn't mean it's going to point to what I just bought at home.
Yeah.
You know, and also, how did they know it was there in the first place? If she could detect it, because they said it was exactly where you said it was, the prophet said that to her.
Did he?
Yeah, the prophet said to her, it was exactly where you predicted, Blessed
really?
One, right?
Interesting.
So she can somehow detect where it is.
Yeah, she has magical, feely stuff, remember?
Yeah,
I don't know.
and they could have made her get this information literally any other way. Like, they can make up anything, but this just doesn't make any bloody sense.
And then his bowing to her.
Yeah,
Forgive
yeah.
me, blessed ones. Like, holy crap.
And even though she's literally half the size, look at
Yeah.
how she's like, okay, sweetie, let me explain something to you, okay? Like, this is their perfect woman.
They make them so unlikable.
And with both the keystones, we can destroy them. Neither you nor the humans know what they do. Unless you do, in which case telling us would be great so we can understand too. Maybe say, oh yeah, it's a weapon we can use against them. Confirm it for us or something.
So, this is the scene. It's like, she literally screams and bashes it with a rock and breaks the metal off.
But look, you can see what do you call it? Either a rivet or a bolt. Like, he was taking it apart. If there's tools there, just... Like, that would make sense instead of bash it with a rock.
Oh, no, she wouldn't be able to unscrew anything with the way... Oh, maybe if there was a screw on the cuffs, but I wouldn't say that they should be made with screws like that. But anyway, yeah, like, just confirms how much I dislike this character. She's so entitled, so bratty, so full of herself, where she doesn't get away and she just sits there and screams like a flippin' baby.
And then bashes it with a rock, and it works. Alright, so they're giving us the drone shot, even though, I mean, if I was them... I'd use the drone to keep an eye out for Covenant.
Could we go back? I just want either a screenshot or playthrough, and we'll pause at the moment where she's screaming like a...
Oh, where she's screaming?
Yeah. So go back. Like, a full-on tantrum. So pause, so read it. A full-on tantrum.
Yeah.
She's like, flailing her feet around. Just, my goodness.
Do you remember Mad Max? When after the big storm he crashes and he's chained up to Nux, his driver, and he's like, oh, I'm chained up, okay, I'm gonna shoot the guy's arm off with a shotgun to get free, right? And that doesn't work, so then he starts chewing on the guy's arm so he can break, and then instead he's like, well, I can't do that, so instead he puts Nux over his shoulder and carries a car door with him. Like, that's badass, but this is like, ah! Autistic screeching, ah!
And I really feel like it comes from the writer's mentality of like, you know, when they feel, what would an honest reaction be to being stuck in a situation like that? So, and we see it in the real world when certain groups don't get their own way, they will go out and scream at the moon.
Even just children.
Yeah.
It's very childish.
Yeah.
It shows their maturity levels. And so, yeah, talk with Master Chief is like, they lied to me, and then...
Yeah.
Like, when we were doing the watch through, it was so blatant that it's like, oh, he's going to betray him. He's like in on the conspiracy.
Only he's reacting reasonably to the situation. Oh, you're becoming suspicious that we might have abducted you from your family and brainwashed you and altered your memories, and you don't like that, and you're a killing machine. Look at him, he's terrified. Oh, and I totally wasn't there when that happened, by the way. There's Halsey, that bitch, man.
I'll deal with this for you.
Norm Macdonald, right? He was on a radio show and someone asked him, like, as a joke for the segment, it's like, yo, okay, so there's this girl, right? And she's beautiful and she wants you to do her, but the thing she wants you to do, she wants you to put a big afro wig on, and while you're doing her, she starts swearing at you and saying racial profanities like N-word and stuff like that, and then her neighbor hears and comes in and it's a big black guy. What do? And he's like, I turn to him and I say, let's kill this honky bitch. It's just like, that's what his reaction is like. Yeah, screw Halsey. Oh man. Anyway, look, he's terrified, and it's reasonable. Oh man, but he's not Captain Keyes. Captain Keyes wasn't this mopey.
And then pulling your funding,
I'm pulling your funding. You're not a bloody corporation.
This political machinations gone nowhere. It's been useless to the plot. It's been a boring distraction, and it's achieved nothing of value.
Yeah.
Nothing of value at all in the overall plot.
Yeah, also, she's ONI, which is the Office of Naval Intelligence. She's a spook. She's CIA, you know? Captain Keyes is a UNSC member of the Navy, not the UN... it's just... None of this makes any sense.
So, yeah, can't let him know, blah, blah,
blah.
And
the thing is, what about Lord Hood? He's got some stuff tied up in this... I've heard people talking about... Basically, they're going to make Lord Hood this evil, rich white man.
I don't know who Lord Hood is.
Lord Hood was the old white dude back at Reach who was like, Catherine Halsey, you're exceptional.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Even though in the games he's...
Okay, so go back. He's like, yeah, so this is how close he is to the laser, alright?
Face literally right next to it.
It's like, so what would you say if you were filming a video, and I was in the lens, and I was just looking real close to the lens going, oh.
No, but it's like, that's very dangerous.
Yeah,
You're gonna kill yourself.
But even just being in the way of something, you'd be like, Nathan, get out the way, I'm filming. Like, he's like in the way of getting the job done.
Like, yeah, you wouldn't put your head right next to a bandsaw, you know?
And I'm just like, what is the purpose of the crystal? Was it made to explode when you probe it with a laser?
Was it made to protect it? If so, what's the purpose of the object?
Yeah,
like, they won't explain it either.
I know, and ready? So the explosion happens. See, that's actually the shockwave moving out. If we play it for a second, the crane will collapse. So that was a massive shockwave, right?
Yeah.
And it's affecting everyone and he's fine. He's like, he was at the epicenter. It's just so dumb. I'm skipping forward, not playing.
Okay, yeah.
This is it.
Has her moment.
Now, okay, I'm going to play this just so you can see.
Like a second at a time.
No, don't worry, I can cut anything. Okay. It's easy. The Luminaries have picked up a signal. And then...
She just touches a rock, a Forerunner rock.
Oh.
Like... This is uncomfortable!
Wait, she's not finished yet. The crescendo's building, and there she goes. Now, I can predict that because I have seen many a female orgasm. Well, they probably weren't real, but neither was that was acting. So...
Well, you don't know that.
Well... If anyone's going to have any experience in orgasms, it's you two. You're married. All right. I feel like I get my V cards back when I get baptized. All right. The fact that he's alive, he even realized, like, how am I alive?
Yeah, I know. And it's so weird, this character, because when they actually take the artifact when they're under attack, he starts screaming, "Don't take it away from me," or "Don't let me separate." It's like, we have no idea what's going on with this character. He's just weird.
Yep.
Okay, so...
And she's like, wow, this thing, it's incredible. We don't even know what she literally...
And it's out of the rock. Just load it up. You're done here.
Yeah.
Nothing more needed.
But she's literally like, it's communicating. We don't know what it does. It might not even be a weapon.
Yeah.
Like, this is the third time it's said.
You know, you think it sent out a signal? It's like, just load it up. Leave now. Yeah. You idiots.
He's like, I can't believe I'm being taken off the project. Father, why have you done this?
And again, useless drama that's doing nothing to improve the show.
And she asks Captain Keyes, why are you doing this for Halsey? What I would say if I was Keyes was, well, you see, Master Chief is kind of figuring out that we screwed his entire life over, and I don't want you anywhere near Halsey when he figures it out completely.
Because he'll kill us all.
Yeah. So that would be a reasonable justification. And then they're talking. By the way, you see those helmets there? Mm-hmm. Those are identical to the helmets from
Starship Troopers.
And I think they might even be the same ones, because they made a lot for that show, movie.
That's where she gives a dig at him. And...
Yeah. Also, yeah, there's nothing in the database, Chief. Okay, so, again, where do his memories start and end? It's so stupid.
And so instead, he'll go to the artifact and touch it, and it does the same magical thing because reasons.
Yep. Also, don't touch it. I mean,
so she could have just shut him down.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. You just stop him. And it just so happens to give him exactly the memory.
Exactly the memory.
And the exact same feelings.
Well, it makes him have the most powerful orgasm. So powerful, Cortana's like, you're lucky to be alive, Chief.
I played just for a second, like, ah!
He's done.
Whew. And then Halsey just comes in very conveniently. The very person that is going to take it all at our lunch. She's like, I'll explain everything, okay?
The fact that, like...
And is it in his character to attack her as well? Like,
no.
It's overly emotional. This character is...
The guilty spark in Halo 1 tried to kill him and Cortana multiple times. And then in Halo 3... when he doesn't try to kill him when they start slightly working, it's just like, come on, ridiculous. And then to knock him out, another orgasm. Well, that's what happened before.
Cortana just takes advantage of him. This is mind rape.
It's the sacred ring, man.
This is absolute mind. It's more than mind rape. Like, it's disabling his whole body against his will.
Yep.
You would see disturbed ground. It would be kind of obvious, as to the part where she dug up and then buried herself and all that stuff. There would be hand marks and everything, but of course, nothing there.
And it seems to be pretty rocky ground. Like, there's probably
Yeah, she wouldn't need a flipping shovel. That would have been an absolute dog to dig into.
Yeah, well, you'd need to be a dog to dig into it.
No, more. You'd need like a full-on jackhammer.
I guess she is a bitch, isn't she? Right, no, you know how she did it? She just got a rock and started screaming and slapping it on the ground.
Oh, that's right, and that'll achieve everything she needs.
Yeah. Tell you what, man, I really just wish that she came up with the taser and he's just like, bang! But it's so stupid the fact that she managed to get the drop on him.
I know.
He's the whole time he's just staring like, if I keep looking at this...
It's a quiet area, he's not making any noise himself, and you're telling me he did not hear someone push themselves out of a friggin' hole of dirt.
But also... He's just like, oh, if I keep looking at this thing that she's not at, I will find out where she is. Not that I could maybe look up and look around.
It's so dumb! This show.
Man. Oh, man. And the fact that they left wheel marks. She might leave foot marks. I don't know. Yeah, it just casually sneaks up and,
So go back. I actually want to see the coming out of the ground part. See, so...
Yeah.
He wouldn't hear this.
She'd hear him walking up.
Yeah. And then she just has a taser that he left with her. Gosh.
Maybe it's not a taser. Maybe it's another orgasm device.
It's a certain shape.
Look at it though. It looks like one. And who knows, maybe the back of his head is like his erogenous zone. But look at it! I feel like the end goes up and down. I have to find some levity in this, Shad. It's my childhood being destroyed.
Holding the gun to him, and we will see what she does next episode.
Is she gonna kill Soren? No, she's not. Obviously not.
Yeah.
Obviously
and then there'll be some bullcrap reason. Soren has no reason to keep her, especially after this. This is kill her levels of provocation.
Or kill her, take her head to the dude that wants her.
But no, there'll be some bullcrap reason to make Soren.
And she escalated this, man. She was like, okay,
this is all her fault.
Yeah,
she lied to him, and she got his ship destroyed. She stopped him from stopping them. Tear apart his ship. All this crap.
And now she has tasered him, taken his gun, and might even leave him there. Because, taking him with her... One, how's she going to do that? The dude probably weighs more than that bike that she couldn't pull.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
You're lucky to be alive, and...
Yeah, I'd be standing back too, guys. Yeah, and then the
slipstream detected, and instantly they're getting blown to bits.
Yeah.
It's like no one was on guard. Like, good. This invalidates the entire reason of having all that infrastructure and military around them. Why did you bring him? To be sitting targets to an attack.
Yep. Get the ship out of here, ma'am, and they can't. It gets destroyed. Take cover.
This army is useless.
Yeah, no.
That's when he was looking at the ship being destroyed. He was like, oh no.
Pioneer's gone, yeah, that's right. What's going here?
They hide in the cave.
Yeah, that's stupid because
there's
one
no
of your ships
exit.
gone.
You're just it's like a kill zone for him. It's just a murder hole.
The whole thing
there's a hole in it too.
yeah, and the whole thing is get the artifact onto our ship so we can get out of here.
Yeah, well, so you might want to get onto the ship that's going to be leaving.
I mean, to be fair, just leave them there.
Well, the people and humans in this show are just horrible people.
Yep, horrible and stupid. Stay back with the Marines, keep us covered. What good that does. Jackals with wrong guns.
Yeah, we see, finally different aliens.
The gall.
I know how the game is played, Cortana.
But seriously, right?
Nothing could be further from the truth with this show.
Yeah, and the backseat driving of Cortana.
They haven't even played the games.
Yeah, but also the backseat driving of Cortana saying, switch to your second... Like, dude!
Shut up!
Oh, man.
Backseat gamer much.
Oh, yeah. It gets evaporated.
Yeah.
Okay, it should be pink, not blue or purple. Pink! Oh, man. They even said it in when the Spartans were talking about it. Pink mist. Anyway, yeah, so...
Yeah, just random shots of people in trouble.
Also, Kai has a sniper rifle, and I counted when she was shooting it before. She shot 5 shots. Or 5 or 6, actually. They're meant to be 4 rounds.
Oh, look, there's a close-up of one of
It's like
those.
a bloody dinosaur. It's meant to be bird-like, not dinosaur, even though...
Well, yeah, because I did not get any bird vibes. I thought these are like, dinosaurs.
They targeted the smaller ship before the big ship. Like, that Halsey ship is like 5 times the size of that one.
And then that's when he defies orders, gets off the...
Well,
She could get shot down.
Her shields are down at this point.
So where does it say shields down?
Well, no, it's the sound.
Okay.
That sound only plays when your shields are down.
Yeah.
And she's still, her shields are clearly visibly still up.
She starts to have an emotional breakdown.
Yep. She's freaking out, man. Then she goes down. Then Chief sees her, yeah.
It's not very progressive to say about women in combat.
Yeah. Also, did she toss her sniper
shame on
rifle
them.
away?
I don't know.
Well, you can see it over there.
Oh, yeah.
She just tossed it and dropped. Okay.
He defies orders to save her, jumps on the back of the thing.
Why didn't he skyjack it? Also, that thing is way too big compared to Master Chief. Or he's
they should be smaller, you're right.
Yeah.
I played enough of the games to know that.
Speaking of which, Shad, stop playing Halo CE, or you said you would anyway, but please just start with Halo 2 and see Halo, please, I beg you. Okay. Alright, he's kamikazes.
Okay, so go back. Play a little bit and we'll pause. So is he grabbing the wing? Is that how they're trying to justify this?
But even then, it's only one wing of 4, as well as the back fenders.
This is so dumb.
What are the back ones called? There's the horizontal ones and the vertical ones, right? Yeah. Now the vertical ones control yaw, and then the back ones control pitch, don't they?
But the thing is, these are anti-grav, types of things. They wouldn't be relying on wind,
exactly. In
aerodynamics for maneuvering. I was assuming those were just some type of energy panels for stabilization or something.
Yes, 1 to 3, they're fixed and it's anti-grav. Like, as in there's literally just a bar that comes off the main centrifuge and holds the anti-grav things in place.
Yeah. So play it just a little bit, like.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it that is pulling it down. I did not get that impression watching it first. It just looked like he was hanging there. Yeah. And there's no justification that would maneuver the ship. And it's so dumb that they're trying to say that this is... and then he's now steering the entire thing. He has so much control over it, he can do precision maneuvering to get it to crash into another thing. And you'd think whoever's flying that would just turn it in the other direction.
Yeah, or maybe try land or something.
So dumb. And then, he just gets up. Could we go back and see how big that explosion was? So let's actually watch the impact just briefly.
This looks so stupid.
He's just hanging on. That's not steering. And so suddenly the pilot has no control over that ship at all because he's there.
Yep.
So friggin' dumb.
Even if he could control the steering, do you think the pilot could control the speed?
Slow down a bit.
And maybe just stop in midair?
And all you have to do is let go as well. All right, job done, cheeks. You did it. For some bullcrap reason, you did it. You can just let go, okay?
But you're still holding on.
It's still holding on when it... This bloody show.
Yeah, and then we get the hero shot.
Yep, so play it when he just gets up and brushes himself off.
He's right in the center of the...
And ready? He just he cricks his neck a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Oh, that's Tuesday morning for me.
So dumb.
Like, just casually.
Oh, yeah, where's your weapon now, Hitty?
Yeah, he's got one. These two guys have one.
Everyone else has weapons, but because we can't kill this character, we'll contrive... It's contrived bullcrap. It's just...
Yeah, and for some reason...
He beats one to death and gets really emotional, and so the fact that his emotions unlocked, this is the thing. I actually don't mind that, that he because aggression and emotion can be a benefit on the battlefield. This is why sometimes men who are more stereotypically and just in general have a physical aggression that can manifest out through physical exertion, stuff like that, do somewhat better in combative situations.
Yes, but in the games, he's actually in his zen state when he's in combat.
Is he?
It's the thing. The only time we ever see him lose his composure is in the first game when Cortana is literally bickering with Guilty Spark, and he's like, "Enough!" That's the only time because she's like, "Sod off," and he's like, "How could this be? This is ridiculous!" And he's like, "Shut the fuck up, both of you!" Oh man.
So I guess. You're right, it confirms and just doubles down the whole 180 of making him so emotionally unstable and it's his identity crisis story.
Yeah.
But they could it's funny, they could have had an arc, even though I don't like what they've done, but they could have had, an interesting arc where they work with it. We'll see what they do.
the story of Halo was never about Master Chief. Master Chief was your insert. You were Master Chief.
Yeah.
And also, another stupid thing, when he's beating that elite to death, for some reason, Kai, the Spartan, is like, "Chief, that's enough." No, I don't think it is. I think it'd be a pretty good idea to beat the thing to death that's trying to kill you.
Okay, and
then Atriox shows up. Like, thank you for giving us a gravity hammer, but why give us Atriox? He's separate from the Covenant. He's literally a separatist. Give us Tartarus or some random brute. Also, another thing about them, they're meant to look like apes, not bloody skinheads. They're meant to, this is Tartarus, right? Bloody,
yeah, that looks awesome.
They're meant to be, and then...
You said a mix between a bear
and an ape.
Ape, yeah.
And then in Halo 3, they give him a samurai motif, which also looks pretty damn cool too. But in this shit show, they just look like a insert random sci-fi character, and they gave him a gravity hammer, which is fine, that's their weapon. But that should kill him.
Yep, and then they take the artifact, and so they technically won. But the thing is, they have the upper hand. They actually have no reason to leave. They could just destroy... Don't they want to destroy all humans?
Yeah, they could...
Finish the friggin' job! Their plan is they want to insert the female thing. But that should be already, massive suspicion that instead of wiping us all out, which they clearly could have, they had the upper hand...
And they want to. They really want to.
A captured human appears.
Yeah. Also, yeah, like you're saying, they have the upper hand. They've just wiped them out, basically. You're in orbit. Their main ship is destroyed. You can glass them. The thing that you love doing to human worlds, well, there's some humans, glass them. But also, look at this. Wait, look at this ship and tell me how big you think it is, right? You'll see it in a sec. It looks so fake. It looks tiny compared to how it should in terms of perspective. Just give it a sec. Look, does that look like a big ship to you, or does it look like
it doesn't look huge.
Looks like it's 100 feet away. Anyway, that thing should be at least 2 kilometers long. And then they send down the ship where she's like, "Make it look good." It doesn't look good at all.
It would be suspect as hell.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Again, if you want to kill the prisoner, why send it down on a drop pod and then fail to shoot it? Why not just shoot the prisoner?
So they're going to sell it that the Covenant didn't send him. She escaped against their will. This is her escape attempt. And then they tried to shoot her after she escaped. But
even then, how she escaped.
Yeah, I know. It's dumb. It's suspect. It's you would never trust this.
Yeah. And
But
if you
they're
did,
gonna
you'd search every body cavity for weapons.
Yeah, right. And they're going to have this, they're going to try and do some type of emotional connection between the two. They'll do a terrible job, but then they'll try and pretend it's like now they connect, they like each other, some bullcrap.
Well, they released a trailer for the next episode, and yeah, you're right.
Really?
Yeah,
it's so bloody obvious.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the trailer.
She literally says, "You're the demon." And do you know what she's like? She's like, "Why should I trust you?" And Master Chief says that to her, and she's like, "Because we're the same. We're not so different, you and I." Oh man, this show's a... Yeah, see, it's unpainted.
Yeah, it looks like a matte black. Yeah.
Yeah. So this show sucks. Oh, it takes his helmet off in a war zone. Yeah. He was playing on Legendary. No, he's not. He's been playing on Easy this whole time. He's playing on...
Playing mods.
Easier than Easy, yeah. So yeah.
That's the episode. That's it.
Yeah. Developed by Kyle Killen and Steve Kane. They're not working here anymore. They're gone, which is great. Give us someone who actually cares about Halo.
Were they kicked out because of how crap it, like the execs just not like it?
Give me another reason why.
I don't know. They want to go off onto another thing to ruin.
No, I don't think people...
The money. They knew that they ruined it and they sucked as much money as they could out and got.
If they were doing a good job, they would have stuck around.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
And if they enjoyed it too.
Yeah. Well, actually,
yeah.
good question. Like, you keep me employed for some reason. Like, if I was doing a...
You do a good job, Oz. You do a good job.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, like, dude, bring in Joseph Staten. He wrote Contact Harvest. He's a great writer. He wrote the games. Like,
so, this is an interesting thing. Like, if everyone is trashing the show. Like, I have not seen a positive comment.
Except the shills.
Except for the shills. But in terms of reviewers I've seen online, I have not seen a positive review.
Well, there's Halo YouTubers who their main, like, content is Halo stuff. But the thing is, the Halo YouTubers have been... It's literally like Stockholm Syndrome for them, man. They're like, oh, hey guys, welcome back.
I haven't seen those ones.
And they...
Like,
oh, man.
Paramount must be, like... They must really be displeased with the performance of this show. And like, remember they tried to sell the first episode for free on YouTube, and then it was getting downvoted and comment bombed to oblivion, so they took it down.
Someone left a comment on a thread, and I saved it. It was so good. Someone's like, imagine going from multi-billion-dollar franchise, beloved by millions, to something so bad you can't even give it away for free.
So, if they have any brains, they should see the writing on the wall and realise, all right, this is an absolute dumpster fire. I wonder if there's any possibility to salvage this wreck where they just try and restart the tone, everything in season 2.
Give it to Joe Staten.
And this thing, like, I don't think they would go as far as recasting people, but I think they should recast, no, not even retcon, just pretend it doesn't exist, start again at, pick up a good story from original Halo, and they might be able to actually make something half decent.
Look, I will settle for, okay, fine. Keep Black Captain Keyes, keep Black Miranda, change her to being a badass ship captain. You want, like, powerful looking women of colour? Fine. Make her like she is in Halo 2 and 3. Yeah. And just...
Scrap Kwan, have her get killed in the first 2 minutes of the next episode.
Or just get rid of her.
Just ignore
wrap her story up.
And
don't need to kill her.
And just... You could pick up the story at the beginning of Halo 2 and just...
They got to go...
Halo 1, I mean.
They got to go back to go forward. They got to do Contact Harvest.
See, I don't think they need to. I'd be just as happy if they just started from Halo 1 story. Do it. Like you've got the source material, there's the blueprint, follow it.
That's the thing, I've listened to Contact Harvest. It's a great book. Probably my second favourite book ever, now that Wheel of Time has become number one. It's the best book I've...
It's so good.
It is the best, most well-written book. Anyway, Contact Harvest has all the woke stuff they want. It's all there, but it's not done in a woke way. This is made back in 2007.
So in other words, you're saying it has representation.
It has representation.
Strong women. And
it has all the things they want.
Because this thing, we actually don't care about strong women. Actually, I love strong women as much as I love strong men characters and stuff like that. Representation, all I care about is being true to the story and servicing the needs of the story. And so if a show has it in it and it's appropriate, we'll like it just as much. We have no problem against it. It's when it's forced in for a subversive political message, and when they're actually showing some pretty racist beliefs where they're going out of their way to racialize things, that's when there are problems, okay?
And they kept out Johnson because he's seen as too, what's the word, stereotypical? Yeah. So you're telling me the negative stereotype you're trying to avoid is that this black master gunnery sergeant who was born and raised in the south side of Chicago in an overpopulated, poverty-stricken place 500 years in the future. The negative stereotype is that they're too charismatic and good at their jobs. Because he is excellent at his job. They specifically pick him to go on the first contact mission against the Covenant.
Mm-hmm. And it's things like that. That's when we're like, all right, we can see signs of their actual views and opinions here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of Contact Harvest, he makes love to a beautiful white lady. That's exactly and I'm fine with it.
Well, it doesn't matter who. He could make love to any person. In terms of white, black, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No, but that's just one of the things that they'd want.
I know.
So
but that's the thing. It's not good enough because one, it has to have their message, but two, as I think is really evident now, it has to have their story. They wanted to try. They think they're so great and this is our story, and then they will appropriate entire property to do it and ruin everything in the process.
But I think I was actually incorrect. The stereotype isn't charismatic black awesome sergeant like Apone from Aliens. You know the black sergeant from Aliens.
Yeah.
He's a badass. Anyway, the thing they're trying to avoid is strong masculine men.
Yes.
They want to and look at Captain Keyes. He's a weak little bitch in this. He's terrified all the time. Oh man.
So. People trying to say that Halo Episode 5 gets better because of the action. It is there is so much dumb in it. It's it doesn't get better.
It's candy in the turd. Yeah. Oh look, there's jelly beans in my crap. Great.
Oh my goodness, this show is awful. Awful show. 4
more episodes left. We're more than halfway through.
Really?
Yeah, we're so close.
And we've achieved so little. There's so little conflict in the Covenant-human war.
Nothing's happened. We've gone from one planet to another. They've broken it out. Chief's gotten some memories.
Master Cheeks has explored his feelings and discovered his past. The show.
Oh, the Spartan's got pink hair now.
Yeah. So crap. Well, there we go. That is Phalo, Episode 5.
Yeah, the faux fiction.
The hate fiction. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And as always, stay on watch.